Good morning, good morning, good morning. You haven't seen me in a while. I know. I haven't been on camera. Anyhow, today we're going to talk about the suitcase murders. And Sarah Boone, I think her first name is Sarah, who is on trial right now for unaliving her husband. Her husband allegedly was very abusive, and she was afraid of him, and both of them were heavy drinkers. Then one night they went through a couple bottles of wine. He climbed into a suitcase. She zipped it up as a joke. Then she refused to let him out, and she says, well, this is how you make me feel. This is how I feel all the time. A little bit of payback, that type of thing. She claims that she never intended on him to pass away. Her defense is also, she's taken the defense of, battered spouse syndrome or something like that. And the judge ruled to allow that testimony. So she's been in prison for quite a long time before her trial actually came up. And she had a lot of time to study. I've seen some clips of parts of her trial so far this week. And she's really kept her composure. But I kind of want to dig into this a little bit. And I'm sporting a new coffee mug. Yes, I made this myself. See the American flag very light in the background. And this weekend I plan on having these up on my website. I actually, over here, have a new printer that I converted to, it's a eco tank printer from Epson that I converted to a sublimation printer so that I can do these things. Anyhow, dishwasher safe. I know, a little bit of a plug. Dishwasher safe, microwave safe. This is not vinyl. The sublimation through the heat process makes the image become like part of the mug. And it helps. There's no scraping off or anything. You can't scrape this off. It's part of the mug. So the image is long lasting. Okay, now on with the video. Disclaimer notice. This video is for entertainment purposes only. All information in this video is not based on fact. It is all alleged, based upon my intuition, my opinion, what I believe my tarot cards are telling me. I encourage each and every one of you to do your own research, form your own opinions. After all, I'm just a blonde throwing cards. Ignore the dust. It's just a few hours worth of dust. And note to self, go to Lowe's and pick up a furnace filter. Anyhow, I want to dig into the overall energy around their relationship. This is the Dark Romance Oracle, and this is an Etsy deck, I think, and then I'll be using Trisha James's predictions deck for the outcome of the trial. And I'm going to use this. This I did get off of Amazon. It is a Vampire's Oracle, or Vampire's Tarot. So, let's just get some overall energies here. And if you're wondering where Luna is, she is curled up somewhere She tolerates the dogs to a certain point. She comes upstairs a lot. That's the other thing I gotta do. I can't leave the basement door open because the dogs will go down there and go Tootsie Roll searching in the litter box. But I think I'm going to bring up a second litter box, maybe try to shove it under the desk somehow, back behind me, with a chair in front of it, where she could get to it, but they can't. Have 2 litter boxes. That's the other thing on my agenda. And if you're new to my channel, welcome aboard. Consider hitting that subscribe button. And if you like this kind of content, please hit the notification, or please hit the thumbs up button. Don't forget to hit the notification and set it to all so that you don't miss any of my community posts or any of my videos. And I do have a tendency to gab and talk about life and things going on around me, what I'm doing, as I shuffle. And the reason for that is that I think less about the cards that are coming out and think less, oh, is this enough shuffling? Have I shuffled enough? And I've got some kind of spam call coming in. I see that. Ignore. I like to give those spammers messages like, you have just called the satanic hotline. You shall be cursed from this day forward. And that's as far as I get, and they hang up. When I feel like answering. Or I answer and I put it on mute, where they can't hear me. They just hear dead silence. Okay. We're almost ready. I need one more card. But as I said, I don't put a lot of thought into the shuffling. Just when the cards feel right and when they fall out or whatever, then that's just me. That's the way I roll. And this is also a good point to tell you that certain cards that come out, I interpret them my way. I'm a very visual reader. And you may look at a card and say, oh, that's not what that means. It's what it means to me at that particular time in that particular reading. Okay. Family. Yep. Okay. Independence. The family card is a group of people. It is, sometimes a family can actually come up as organizations or community, or literally the family. Judgment. Judgment is that decision that is made. Love. She did say that she loved George. Okay. That was the victim's name. She loved him. She still loves him. Interesting that came up. It was in the cards, fate. Okay. So, I see this kind of energy a lot in toxic relationships. Okay. Where one or the other or both parties feel like they were fated to be together. It was their destiny. And, you know, there's this decision right here in the dead center. And a lot of people will say, well, if it was that bad, why didn't she leave? Why did she have to delete him from the face of the earth? Well, being a prior victim to such a connection, I can say that when you are in this and you are the victim of DV, okay, there's a certain mentality. You get beat down. And almost like a brainwashing, where you are convinced either you're not worthy enough for something better, or you're not going to find somebody else, or you have to stay in the situation because of finances. I can't make it on my own. I committed to this. I have to stay. It'll get better. And then you tell yourself and lie to yourself and say, it'll get better. It'll get better. And that is definitely the energy I'm picking up here. That, with fate and love, she thought that this was a fated relationship. He probably did too. That they were in it together. But she made this final decision that she needed to be independent. Now, that raises the question to me, was this really premeditated, or did she snap? Did she plan to take him out? There was one witness that had said that to them that she's going to make George disappear. Okay? So this is raising an eyebrow to me. I feel her pain as what she had gone through with George. But there's two sides to every coin. I do not believe in taking somebody out in order to gain your independence. A lot of victims, yes, they're so hurt, emotionally, mentally disturbed, damaged because of the situation that they had found them in for so long. But just like it is wrong for a perpetrator to unalive a victim, the reverse is true also. A victim to unalive a perpetrator, unless it is self-defense. If their life is not actually threatened, but their well-being is threatened, there are other recourses to go. And yes, I already hear you guys saying, well, the police don't do anything. Which is true. In some instances. The cases that we hear about a lot that become national or international cases are the ones where a lot of the time police drop the ball, do not heed the warnings, do not hear the cries, ignore the victims when they go to them and say, hey, I feel like my life is in danger. He did this, he did that, and the ball was dropped. But I know of a lot of cases where police did not actually drop the ball. And there's even one locally right now. And I met somebody that had gotten out of a relationship, and I was like a little bit very guarded, and met him, went on this date with him last weekend. We basically went to a sports bar, got some food, and I had 2 beers, he had 2 beers, and we sat and we watched the Steelers game Sunday night. Well, I find out, and then after that, I heard from him once, and then I didn't hear from him all week. And I thought he ghosted me until just the other day I saw on Facebook where he was arrested because he put a tracking device on his ex-girlfriend's vehicle and was stalking her. He's in jail right now, awaiting arraignment and all that other stuff on a $700,000 bond. He's going to be sitting there for a while. But my point is, that victim went to the police, said he put a tracking device, and they did something about it. So not every police officer or police station. And there's my doorbell. But not every police station is like that. I just want to say that. Guys, I am sorry. Hopefully they're a little bit more calm now. Daisy, knock it off. It got a little bit out of hand, so I had to stop the recording. But, as I was saying, not all police stations are lazy or dropping the ball, not doing anything, not taking victims seriously. And I think there's a more of an awareness that is coming about with some of the big national cases now. So, I'm going to save the predictions deck for last because we will see a little bit more. I want to get into the tarot right now. I was instructed not to read reversals in this reading. And as I was going to start shuffling, my guides told me, check the cards. And sure enough, yeah, this is like, this stuff's just ridiculous. It has some, there's some, I think my son really needs to get the ductwork cleaned out in this house. The ductwork needs cleaned out. Probably the furnace too. I got to get a filter for it, but it's driving me insane. Like even my mug press, I keep it covered up to try to keep the dust out of the heating element. But anyhow, let's see what we got going on here. One more shuffle. Okay. The nature of the crime. Well, the nature of what's going on is the Queen of Swords. Now, the Queen of Swords is somebody is like the lower vibrational energy of justice. She represents somebody who is a truth seeker, and actually, she can be a little bit cold at times too. But she is somebody that wants answers. She is somebody who, you know, if you go to her about anything, you better be totally honest. And she represents honesty. So I believe this is almost saying the situation around this crime, around this case, this trial, is all about the truth. The one who speaks the truth. So, you know, I was raising an eyebrow here. I'm kind of getting that she may have thought about what life would be like if George wasn't around. Making him disappear. That could be by any method. Unaliving, or sending him to prison when he acts up, or anything like that. It's not saying that she planned this, but it feels like that this is about speaking the truth. What are the obstacles? The Knight of Swords. Okay. The obstacles here, this is about, is she telling the truth about her actions that she took that night? Like a like, was there, I guess there's questions rising. Was there really a fight that night? Was there really, I think there was, because I think when she was in a drunken stupor that night, she recorded a lot of shit that she didn't even remember recording. Scattered brain, and this reminds me of, I'm getting chaotic minds, clarity. This is, I think she herself is even trying to find clarity on what really happened that night. They were both drunk. I know a couple bottles of wine. I think there were more than a couple bottles because they went to the store and bought another bottle. There was one, and it wasn't one of the normal ones. It was one of the big, huge, giant gallon size or something like that. Things of wine. They drank a hell of a lot of wine. And she says that she does not remember everything. And she says, I'm telling you the truth. I don't remember everything. The energy was so chaotic. We were fighting. At first, she lied about being a drinker. And then she admitted right on the stand before prosecution could even get to her, kind of taking away the power of the prosecution by saying, yeah, I lied to police. I was scared. I was drunk as a skunk. Okay? That. But she's like trying to tell the truth of some things and trying to clear some energy up. Meanwhile, she's not quite sure herself. Okay? Hidden influences. Ace of Wands. These are ideas. Bright ideas. Inspiration. New beginnings. New passionate beginnings. And this is an idea that you are thinking about and a way to implement that idea or that plan. This is fire. This is action. Action and passion. So, as a hidden influence, this is like more like she had this idea of putting him in that suitcase. And I think on one of the videos from her phone, he said something about he couldn't breathe, or whether that was on the video or she said that he told her he couldn't breathe and she didn't take it seriously. Hidden influences, she wanted to be independent. She wanted out. For so long, she thought it was destiny, that she was destined to be with George. But she couldn't take his actions anymore. She wanted out of that family unit, that relationship. So, I think there's some there is premeditation, but maybe not on that particular night. In other words, she may have been thinking about it, but not implementing anything. Then things got really out of control that night, and things happened suddenly. So it's kind of a little bit a mixture of both. She did not premeditate his unaliving for that particular night. It's not like a week before the incident, she thought, oh, I'm going to make him climb into a suitcase. I'm going to zip it up and make him suffocate. And I'm going to beat it with a bat, too. She did do that. She picked it up and beat the suitcase with a bat. And meanwhile saying, this is how it feels. And so there was a lot of anger and passion behind this crime also, it's telling me. So she did not plan on necessarily taking him out in that manner. Okay. Now, what led up to this? The Tower. So this is definitely telling me the actions taken that night were not premeditated. She may have thought about it or fantasized about being free, getting rid of him, stuff like that, but never taking action. This seems like this was unexpected. She claims she did not think he was going to pass away. So this is like that shock factor. And combining the Ace of Wands with that also makes me think of heat. I think that something came to a head that night between the two of them. Okay. Motivations behind this, 3 of Wands. This is definitely a disagreement, not being on the same page. 3 of Wands is a plan in action. The motivation on this is, now it's time for me to move on. Makes me kind of wonder if at the time, now she was intoxicated, not thinking clearly. She says she didn't think he was going to pass away. She probably really didn't. But there's another part, the delusional part, the fantasy part, the intoxication part, that says, don't take him out. But it feels like the energy here, she really wanted to leave him. I'm kind of thinking that that may be what the argument was over. She may have told him, like before the fight, before they were totally wasted, that she was done, she wanted out. Might have led to an argument here. But what's coming next in the trial? We're at trial now. 5 of Wands. Oh, it's going to be a battle. Both sides are in it to win it. This is definitely a battle. A battle of wills. But Miss Boone is in it. I mean, she's going to battle. And George, his last name is not Boone. I forget his last name right now. You could look it up on YouTube or on Google it, the Suitcase Murder, and all the background and information that you would need on a logical standpoint will be there. Okay, now we're going to look at her energy currently. King of Wands. The King of Wands is somebody who is passionate, driven, ambitious, charismatic, passionate, and he has a plan and a strategy. He's mastering his, and this is somebody who sometimes can be angry, but the King of Wands generally keeps his composure despite whatever is thrown at him. And he's ready to throw it right back. And remember, the tarot knows no gender. Okay, the tarot, it should be over here. The tarot knows no gender. So she's sitting in her masculine energy right now. And she is fired up. She is defending herself. And anything that the prosecution throws at her, she's throwing it right back at them. And from what I have seen of this trial so far, the prosecution has very little power right now. Okay. Now we're going to look at other people, external factors, or influences in this case or trial. 5 of Swords. The 5 of Swords is winning, a shallow victory, winning at all costs, a bully. And this feels like external influences is the history of this relationship. The bullying, the abuse, okay, kept her down. And it's almost like I'm hearing it's him or me. But this is the experiences that she went through by his hand. Okay. The hopes and fears of the prosecution. 7 of Wands. I would say this is the fear. You know, she may have a very strong defense. And there's a fear here that they're not going to get their conviction. Because she is, I don't think they expected her to come into court with this case and present it in such a way and keeping her composure. They expected outbursts. They expected to see a display of anger and stuff like that. She's the Queen of Swords. She's cool as a cucumber, speaking her truth. And they're afraid of the defense. What the defense has. They're trying to push back on the defense. They're hoping that they can break down the defense. But I don't think they were expecting the battle that they are getting right now. Potential long-term income endings is the Knight of Wands. Change. This is somebody who feels a release. The Knight of Wands is very ambitious. Again, risk taker. He's impulsive. And I want to draw another card on that. I don't like to end with a court card. But there is some kind of action going to be taken here. There's the Queen of Wands. That's her. This is a couple. I'm thinking about maybe was she cheating? I may have read that she was, but I'm not sure that she was. Or was she being accused of cheating? But I feel like there was somebody really close to her she may have been involved in. And there are too many cards. And there's something there. Six of Wands, victory. This can also be just her attorney if it's not a romantic partner. But this is almost saying like her and her legal team, with being as aggressive as they are, coming away with a victory. Do I need the predictions deck? Let's take a look. I'll throw a few of them out before I end this video. Just kind of want to clear the table a little bit. I got room. Okay, let's get Trisha James's predictions deck out. I really like this predictions deck. It's better suited for true crime. Not for your everyday, oh, what's my day going to be like today? And then you come up with a murderous card or something like that. Like, oh, snap. I am saying, I'm not leaving the house. I'm going in my room, locking the door, putting chairs against the door, putting the dresser against the door, and hiding under the blankets. You know, so this is really a true crime predictions. And it's also really good for political readings. Not just in predictions, but in getting an idea what's going on in a certain political arena. Okay. I like to use this. I'm going to be using this for my November predictions. And by the way, when I do them, I'm going to do world predictions. I'm going to do a separate elections prediction. Unless it comes, I mean, I'm not saying it wouldn't come up in the November general, but let's see. We got taken by force. Celebrate success. Submarine underwater and flood rains. Ships, a lot of ships and fish. Makes me think about resources. Sometimes water, sometimes this could be going with the flow. And sometimes the flood waters could be meaning, this could be saying, I feel like I'm drowning. I feel overwhelmed. Some kind of disclosures, sightings, heating up, fire, heat wave, corrupt dealings, foreign occupation. Okay. I'm kind of wondering if this is the prosecution's energy, only because this is feeling like somebody, I'm hearing feeling like a fish out of water. Somebody feels like a fish out of water. Like, how experienced is this prosecutor? Corrupt dealings, foreign occupation. Citing something heats up because there is some kind of disclosure in regards to a cooperation or corrupt agreement or contract, foreign, elsewhere. I'm wondering if there's something else going to come up here. They're celebrating some kind of success here, though, after being taken forcefully. What is this? These cards aren't making sense. Now, again, this is futuristic in regards to this case. This is making, allegedly entertainment purposes only, making me think, I'm feeling like she is going to be acquitted, found not guilty. And once found not guilty, she cannot be retried for the crime on those particular charges. Okay. Not saying there can't be a civil suit, wrongful death by his family. And that's what I'm feeling. I'm getting this energy of she gets acquitted. And there's a lot of anger. A lot of anger. And some kind of disclosure over something being revealed. Okay, it feels like after it's all said and done, some kind of other information comes out, something being disclosed that heats things up. And I feel, and if you remember the family card that came out in the Romance Oracle, the family card, now I kind of get a little bit more understanding why families come, why the family came out in the beginning. Family is definitely directly, I think, related to the future here. I think it's going to be George's family. They're going to be fucking pissed, upset, to the point of doing something underhanded. And remember that Five of Swords of an external influence? You know, I kind of read that as George, but that's also could be George's family planning something nefarious with somebody outside of the scenario that's not connected to them. Almost makes me think of hiring somebody, taken by force, success, celebrating success, successfully. I'm getting kidnapping. I just got to be honest. It's like, is Miss Boone going to disappear? We've got submarine, underwater, floods, heavy rains, a lot of water. So it makes me think that potentially, allegedly speaking, if she is let off and something comes to light, she might disappear. Look to water, look to ships. Perhaps she'll be found in a... And I feel more of deep water, like a lake or something like that. Not just some little small river. It could be a large river, but a larger body of water. Like, I can almost picture a weight tied to her and her being thrown into a body of water. I need to find out if I am on the right track here. Royal family. This is somebody that has a little bit of money. This is somebody that, very important people being involved. That is a leader. Good outcome. And I think that's for the family. Surprise attack. You know, there is a desired outcome, successful. And I think this is, as far as that nefarious, the plan that the family works out is a success. They get involved with important people. There is a surprise attack where Ms. Boone is taken by force and it's successful, and she disappears into a body of water. Planned outcome. I would say, and I feel this is kind of current and future right here, that they're already thinking if she gets off, she's disappearing. There's like already this idea that if the justice system doesn't work in convicting her, we will take justice into our own hands. And that's what I'm getting there. And if she is found not guilty, she's going to have to watch her back, protect herself, because there's something here that is not good. On the surface, it may seem a success that she was acquitted based upon the battered wife, battered spouse type syndrome type thing. But the law is the least of her worries, in my opinion. In my opinion. Like I said, this is just a card reading. Okay? But I am going to leave that there. That's what I see coming up. And I'm going to finish my coffee and I'm going to drop the mic.